Welcome to the new video, students. So, my name is Kamini Joshi. I am an assistant professor at Chandigarh University and I belong to computer science domain, right? So, guys, today's video is going to be on the topic that is switch case, or you can say on switch. So, if we talk about conditional statements in a programming language, switch statements, or you can say the switch cases, belong to conditional statements. So, if in your programs you want to make some decisions, and that decisions will be on the basis of some conditions, so we use conditional statements for that. Switch is in that. So, other conditional statements will be if statements. We'll have if else, then we have a else if later, nested if would be there, and switch is one of them, right? So you can say that what is a switch? If we particularly talk about a switch, it is a multi-branch statement, or it is used as an alternative to a else if ladder. Or you can say that whenever in your program you have to make and decisions depending upon and conditions, so you will use a switch case. But if we talk about this, we know that else if ladder is also used for that. There are many conditions, and those multiple conditions leads to multiple decision making in our program. Else if does that, then why a switch? Basically, switch will be used to do a menu driven program. All right. Or in simple words, you can say when you have a specific variable in your program, and for n multiple values of that variable will lead me to do n multiple operations. In those cases, switch case will be used. If I'll give you a real world example of switch, we all have used in our life, we have called a customer care number. Let it be Airtel. Let's suppose I'm using a Airtel number and I have an issue. So what am I going to do? I'm going to call on the number 121, that is their customer care number. So what happens over there? When you call, you are calling on a single media, on a single number. They give you options that press 1 if you want to continue in Hindi, press 2 if you want to continue in English, press 3 if you want to continue in Marathi or in Hindi, right? So what is happening over there, guys? You called on one medium, but that one medium was leading you to multiple options, and you were just selecting one because it is possible for you to select only one out of that. It is not possible for us that when they're asking us options, we will go for one also and option but two also. No, either I'll go for Hindi or I'll go for English in that case. And later on also, when you will select one, they give you options whether you want to check your balance, you want to have a loan, you want to check the services. Again, 3 to 4 options are given to us. So all those situations, how they are handled in programming, basically we do it by using switch or switch case. Or to give you one more example that would be more technical, let's suppose I'm telling you that you write a program. Okay, I give you a menu in front of that program. In the beginning of that program, I'm saying you create a program for a simple calculator that is going to do operations: addition of two numbers, subtraction of two numbers, multiplication of two numbers, and division of two numbers. But I'm saying that user will press 1 if he wants to add. User will press 2 if he or she wants to subtract. Similarly, 3 for multiplication, 4 for division. So what am I doing? I'll take a single variable in my program, okay, and for multiple values, one will lead me, giving the value of the variable as 1 will lead me to do addition, 2 will lead me to subtract. So I will be doing a one operation out of them depending upon the multiple values of that variable, right? So in those cases, guys, we will be using a switch, or to be more precise, a switch case. So now I'm going to share my whiteboard let's understand that how it will be written in a program. What is the syntax of that? So let's go. So I hope my whiteboard is visible to everybody. So over here, I'll tell you that what is the syntax of switch case, right? So guys, how we are going to write or use a switch case is I will be using this word, or you can say a keyword, that is switch. In this, I can pass three things. Either I can put a condition, or I can put a variable. I can pass a variable, or a expression can also be passed here. So out of these three things, one of them will be passed, right? And the body of the switch will be obviously lied between a block of code. So we will put it inside the curly braces, right? Now, the point is, why do we call it switch case, not switch? Because how those things will be handled in the switch by creating different cases. So what I'll do in the switch, what the body of the switch will contain cases. I'll write a keyword case, then I'll give a value to this case, then we'll use a colon. After the colon, I'm going to write the code, which will be implemented over here. Similarly, case, again, second case will be created, again, colon, again a code. Similarly, you can have n number of cases and you can end your switch. Not mandatory, it is your choice. You can create a default case also in your switch case, right? So that would be the syntax. Again, I'm telling you that creation of this default case is not at all mandatory. Okay, it is purely your choice. You can do that or you can skip that. But now let's understand that how this switch will work before going into the programming concept of this. Let's assume, bacha, that I over here the variable, one variable is passed, and one this variable is evaluated as a value 2. Okay, and what these values are going to contain, the possible values of that variable. Let's suppose I had a variable named as n. This will have three values. It can have one possible value, 1, 2, and 3. Let's suppose 1 will lead to operation number 1, 2, pressing 2 will lead to operation number 2, and pressing 3 will lead to operation number 3. And right now user entered 2. So what I'll do over here, three cases will be created. Case 1, case 2, and case 3. So how this is going to work? The value which we have in the switch will be matched with the first case value. One will be matched with two. They are not matching. They are not equal. So we will not enter into the body of this case. Instead, we will go and check the next case. All right. So again, I'll check 2 is equals to 2. They are matching. They are equal. So what is going to happen? The code written inside this case will be implemented by my switch. Then we'll come out of it. But let's suppose that you have passed a value over here in the switch, which is not present as a case value. You passed over here 4, and I had created the cases which is going to deal with value 1 or value 2. In that case, what is going to happen? The default case will be executed. That means default is same as implementing else in the else if ladder. So it is purely our choice that whether you want to go for else or you don't want to go for else, right? Similarly, default remains the same. Before going into the programming, I just want to let you know about some things, some rules. So the value which will be passed in the switch, guys, whether it is a condition, whether it is a variable or expression, it can be of only three data types. Only three data types are accepted. Either integer would be accepted, char will be accepted, or enum will be accepted. So enum stands for enumeration, right? So that means if whenever you will write a program using a switch case and you try to give a floating point value over here, you will encounter an error in your programs. And there is no sequence. Whenever you are writing the cases, right, there is no particular sequence. That means this default can be written as a first case also, as a second case also. So there is no particular rule that we follow, but these are the data types which are accepted. And a very important factor that you need to know about the switch is that which code is accepted. If you are writing a code inside the case, only that line will be implemented by the switch. That means if you will write any code of line in the body of the switch which doesn't lie inside the case, will be neglected by your switch. Only cases are accepted. So that was all about the theoretical part. Now we are going to understand this thing by using a program. So I'm going to share my IDE screen with you all. So let's continue with the program. So I hope it is visible to everybody. So guys, the first program that we are going to write today is, I'll give you a menu driven program. All right. So let's suppose we are visiting a restaurant, okay, or a cafe, over where you got a menu and they have a digital menu. That means we are saying that you will press one if you want to order, let's suppose, pizza. User will press 2 if I want to order pasta. Let's go for 2 only right now. You can add as many values as you want. So this is a menu driven program. We will implement, either I can order pizza or I can order pasta at one point of time. So I'll deal with this program by using a switch case. Let's see how. First of all, let me return 0, write the return statement over here. So let's give this message first to the user. So I'm using a printf statement and I'll write over here that enter 1 to order pizza. User will, and in the second line 2 to order pasta, right? Then I'll take a variable of integer type I, let's suppose. Then I will take its value as an input in I. Then what is the value that you have? Now I'm going to deal with this by using a switch case. So let me write the syntax of switch in the program. So this is switch. So this switch is going to work on a variable I. That means over here I will pass I. And how many cases will be created out of here? How we will get to know? We have two options. So two cases will be created, very simple. And what will be the case value? The possible values. The case value will be 1 or 2, right? So I'll create two cases. Case 1, then case 2. So what is going to happen if case 1 will be true? In that case, I'll just print a message to the user that, just a second, that your pizza is ordered, right? And if the case 2 will be true, in that case, I'll say that your pasta is ordered. That is my complete program. And because it is an input I'm taking from the user, so obviously user can enter any value except 1 or 2 also. Any integer can be inputted. So I'll handle that by creating a default case, right? So in the default case, what I'll just print a message to the user that enter the correct choice, that your choice is not correct. Now guys, how this program is going to work before I implement, if user will enter 1. So what is going to happen over here? This will become switch of 1. This 1 will be matched with the case 1 true. We will print on the screen pizza is order. If user will enter 2, switch of 2 will be executed over here. First 1 will be matched with 2. It is false. It is not true. Then what we'll do, we'll go to the next case. 2 is equals to 2. So pasta order will be printed on the screen. Similarly, if I input any value except 1 or 2, default keys will be executed. Let's see, is it working like that? How we assume. So let me run this code. Let me just increase the size of this. Let's execute the code. So let's put a wrong value. I'll input 3. So when I'm inputting 3, it is saying enter the correct choice. That is correct. Let's enter 2. Let me rerun it. And I am entering 2. When I entered 2, guys, what happened? My output was supposed to be only your pasta is ordered, right? But what is happening? It is printing me the pasta is ordered, but it is printing me enter the correct choice also. Let's go for 1. Let me just implement it for 1 also. What is happening in 1? It is printing pizza also, pasta also, and correct choice also. That means what is happening over here? Once the case value is matching with the switch variable, the rest of the cases are also implemented. Why it is happening, guys? Because this is how a switch works. Once a case is going to match, it is going to implement the rest, or you can say the rest of the preceding cases also. So what we do, how we overcome this, we use a jumping statement. And the name of the jumping statement that we will use over here is a break. So after every case, except the last case, I'll use a keyword that is break over here also, over here also, right? So let's run this code and see whether it is executing in the correct way. Then I'll let you know what is happening. I'll press 1. My answer is coming out to be correct. I'll press 2. My answer is coming out to be correct. Let me press some other value. Okay, let me rerun it. And let's give a 90. It is executing fine. So what is happening over here? The basic purpose of a break is if I use a break in any of the structure or a block, it will get my control of the program out of that block. So if you are inputting here 1, so case match, this printed break means come out of the switch. If I'll implement it for 2, this case match, break means come out of it, right? So that is the purpose of break. So it is always preferred, again, no hard and fast rule, but to have the correct functionality of the switch, it is always preferred that whenever you are creating cases in the switch, guys, what you need to do is you have to put a break after every case. So that is it, what we had in the first example, right? Let's write one more program to make the switch more understandable, right? So now again we will be writing. So let me erase all these things from here and we'll write a menu driven program only, like I have given you example earlier also. And in this program, what we'll do, we'll ask the user, basically, now we are creating a calculator over here, a simple calculator. So 4 operations we'll perform. User will press enter to add, 2 to find the difference, then 3 to multiply, and 4 to divide. Okay. So what I'll do, first of all, I'll give this menu to the user that please enter 1 to add. Then on the new line, let me give 2 to subtract. Then on the new line, 3 to multiply and 4 to divide. That's it. Now we are going to decide that on how many variables this program is going to work. I want to do this operation on, guys, 2 numbers, integer variables, so a and b, and this choice will also be taken from the user. So let's take this choice in a variable named sch. Then when we ask this question, obviously we have to scan the value for our ch. So ampersand ch. Now we will print a message to the user that you enter the value of a and b. So let me use a printf function, and over here I'll write enter the value of A and B. Done. Then we'll scan it by using a single scanf function, percentage D, ampersand A, ampersand B. Right now, I will use a switch case. Switch is going to obviously work on CH because the options are taken in a variable named as CH. Now, over here, before going further, if I'll just ask you one question, that guys, how many cases will be created over here? If your answer is 4, that means you are correct over here, because how many options I have, I'm giving to the user in the menu? 4 options. So how many cases will be created? 4. And fifth one can be default if you want to include it. If you don't want to include it, purely your choice. So I'll create 4 cases. Case 1, case 2, then we'll have a case 3 as well, case 4 as well, and I will create a default case as well. All right, and we know that after every operation I have to put a break, so let me write the break after every case. This would be the last line, and this I will not take in the default case because default is we have taken as a last case, so no need to create. So we know that case 1 is going to implement the addition, so I'll straight use a printf function. And how I want to print the values is, let me tell you this syntax. Let's suppose 2 and 3 is the value that I want to add. I want to print the text like this: 2 plus 3 equals to 5. That is why what I'll do over here, I'll use percentage d space, then a person space, then plus symbol. Again, I'll use percentage d equals to percentage d. So what will be printed first? A, then B, then the operation A plus B. This is what I want to do for other operations also. So let me copy this code from here and put it in the second. Over here, what I'll do, negative sign, and negative sign will be implemented. Then in the case number 3, we want to do multiplication. So I'll do the multiplication over here and multiplication over here also. Fourth, I want to do the division. So division here, and we'll do the division here. That's it. And let's handle the default case also. In the default case, what I'll do, I'll just again put that message that enter the correct choice. Simple. That's it. So now let's go and execute this code. Let me run this code, and I got my menu. They are saying please enter 1 to add. So we'll run it for each and every case. So 1, then they are asking me the value 1 and 1. So I got my answer: 1 plus 1 is equals to 2. There was a break. Otherwise, it was going to tell us subtraction also, multiplication also, and division also. Let's run it for the case number 2. 1 and 0 is the answer. Similarly, it will work on multiplication also, and it is going to multiply. It is going to work on the division also. And if I put a random value, obviously it will take the values, then it is saying that enter the correct choice. So this is how you are going to write your programs by using the switch case, right? One more thing that we will make change in this program is that I have told you that in this switch, which character values are or also accepted, right? So let me change this program a bit. I am saying that user will press A to add, then B to define the difference, then C to find the multiplication, D for the division, right? So what I'll do, this CH that we have taken would be a character type value. Simple. Then over here, the text will be changed. A will be there, B will be there, then we'll have C, we'll have D. Done. Then it is a character value, so percentage C will be used. Then afterwards, I have to change the cases. So this is a character value. It needs to be written in the single quotes. A for this, B for this, C for this, then D for this. Simple. Sorry, G for this. Now let's run this code again to check whether it is working for character values or not. Yes, let's put A, 1 and 5. You will see that it has implemented us what? The plus addition, plus operation. Similarly, for B also it will work, for C and D. And if you will give any other value except this, then what is going to happen, guys? It will not work. It is going to implement the default case, right? So that is that all we have in the application of switch. Or if you want, a expression can be taken here, or you can give a condition also. And if you are giving a condition, we always know that a condition will always give me either a true or a false, 0 or 1. So how many cases will be created? Two cases always. First case for the true and the second case for the false. So we can deal with the conditions also, but we will not prefer it with the condition. We will prefer when we have a menu driven programs, right? So I think that would be it for this. So what we studied in today's video was that what is a switch case, what is the syntax of switch case, how you are going to use switch cases, and in what sort of programs you will be using the switch case. So I'm just winding up this session over here only. Thank you so much for listening to me. Have a great day. Thank you.